Hi, internet people. I'm here once again to talk about the electric guitar. I'm shooting this video because I feel kind of bad that I haven't uploaded a long form video in months, and even the shorts have dried up a bit. But that's only because I've been quite busy with other stuff, other music stuff, producing for other artists, giving one-on-one guitar lessons, and working on my own record. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to come here, talk a bit about, again, the psychology of learning this instrument. Now, if you've been playing guitar for at least about a year or even a few months, doesn't matter how long you've been playing, I'm pretty sure you know what it felt like to really get into it for the first time. You were super excited about it and you had a goal in mind. Even if the goal wasn't a large goal, you had a goal in mind. The goal was to play guitar, and even something as simple as a power chord. I'm playing unplugged today as well because I don't want to hook it up. I've just been practicing unplugged a lot. Um, it helps me hear the mistakes in a quiet room when I'm playing unplugged. Then when I get to an amp, it's like a bit more exposed, but it's a whole other conversation. My point is, when you first started playing this instrument, you were very inspired by something, whether it was a film or a music video or like just a record or just someone that you know playing guitar, and your goal was to learn. And the problem with that is very quickly that goal tends to dry up, or that aspiration tends to dry up after a very short while. Maybe because the instrument's a bit more challenging than you had first assumed, or I don't know, things get in the way, time gets in the way, life gets in the way, whatever. There's a spark that goes missing. And the entire point of this instrument is to keep that spark. It's not even about playing fast or playing good or playing like expressive, hectic stuff, or it's not even really about playing. This instrument's kind of about like feeling and thinking. Music is about feeling and thinking. I mean, the skill is very important. Don't get me wrong. I'm stuck trying to get my legato to feel legato or whatever. These are the things that I'm working on, but I can only understand that I need to work on them because I have a goal in mind. I don't just want to learn a bag of tricks. Okay, bag of tricks is cool for some people. That's how they get around. It gets the gigs sometimes, but if you're really serious about mastering the instrument, the attitude very early on should be one of keeping the fire alive, whether that is through listening to records, whether that is playing all the time, whether that is just visualizing, making little mini games with yourself, like trying to find the notes on the fretboard or whatever. But you need to stay passionate about it. And that is, I think, the trickiest part, the hardest part, because it doesn't matter what you practice. If you're not passionate about it, it's not going to go anywhere. I mean, sure, you might get some muscle memory, which is okay. And sure, you might get some sort of an understanding about what you're doing. But if you're not into it, your brain just gets rid of that stuff. Trust me, I've learned some stuff, and then a week or two later, it's gone just because I kind of force fed it out. I wasn't really hungry about it. I wasn't consumed by it. And despite whatever music you might be creating or whatever reason you might have for learning the guitar, you need it's essential that you play what you like to hear or what you would like to hear. So if there's a style of music that you really enjoy, play that, and don't force yourself to enjoy it. It's something that if you're into, you're into, and if you're not, you're not. And the whole point of this instrument, again, like that I'm learning, is also just to be yourself. Like there's a music inside you that is real and nothing to do with the instrument or anything external. It's an inner song that keeps on singing, and your job is to find the truest version of that. And that goes beyond just practicing the guitar as an instrument. It's like a philosophy, it's a mindset. It's a very weird one, I know. But yeah, you have to be interested in it. Another thing, practicing versus playing. It's a very interesting little distinction between those two things. But I feel like for now I don't have a distinction between practice and playing. Like sometimes I'll tell myself like, okay, no, you need to get through this in all 12 keys, which is distinct. But usually I find myself drifting along and doing other things. And this is also very tricky. This is where having a guitar teacher or mentor, musical mentor, they don't even have to be a guitarist, but just someone who understands music deeper than you, needs to like help you understand what's going on there, because very easily we can beat ourselves up for not sticking to the practice. Like, let's say I told myself I'm going to do C major, all positions starting on the lowest note being E. So I'll do E Phrygian and then F Lydian and then yada yada yada. But then by the time I get to A, I just start ripping out some pentatonic licks because I'm bored. Like, the exercise is getting boring. I think it's okay to allow that to happen. I don't think you should like stop and be like, oh no, I lost focus. Oh, bad, bad, bad. Get back, focus, restart. It's very damaging. This meat muscle we call a brain doesn't know what's going on, so it just feels this conflict and kind of associates that conflict with the guitar, and then subconsciously you begin to resent it. It should be enjoyable. It should be a task. It should be challenging, but that challenge should make it enjoyable. It's kind of like working out. If you've got a body goal and you're just focused on the goal, you're very much likely to not enjoy the exercise because it seems so unattainable and you're not enjoying where you are. And the crazy thing is, you can't trick your brain into enjoying something. I mean, you can to a degree, but because you're so self-aware, you can kind of like, and because you have one brain, your brain will tell itself that it's tricking itself. And I don't know, there's ways to do it, I guess. I'm not a psychologist. All I'm saying is, um, allow yourself to be. Allow yourself to be. It's good to drill things in. It's good to be like, okay, I'm gonna do my major seven arpeggios in different positions. That's cool, and it's good to do that. Sometimes what I do is, instead of telling myself I'm gonna do this in all 12 keys, I do one arpeggio like over and over and over until I get bored of it. I think that engages my brain a bit more than trying to do the 12 keys thing up and down. I mean, I do it, um, but it got me a long time to get into that flow. I had to play some of these patterns over and over before I even got them in my fingers. And like right now, I've got the fingering for it, but the picking's the problem. So now I need to zone in on the picking. And that's kind of like my third point, is that there's no practice routine that's gonna work for you that isn't your own. You can go on Reddit or Google or Facebook or whatever you use to engage with your passion for the guitar, and you can find the best foolproof method to practice, and it will still mean nothing because it's not yours. This whole thing that we're doing here with this instrument is to find your voice, and part of your voice is how you practice, how you play, how you decide to go about digesting the information presented here. So if you're starting out, yeah, get like some practice routine recommendations from wherever, like play this in 12 keys, play that in 12 keys. But again, you'll very quickly get bored if you're anything like me, and you'll start to want to venture out into other things. And I think that is a perfect opportunity to start like noticing what you gravitate towards, what you're weak at, and all those things. And again, this is why having a mentor is so important. But for some of us, we're just thugging it out. um, and yeah, so but these things are extremely deep. And I don't mean to make guitar playing seem like this sacred, like, oh man, but really any craft, whether it's guitar playing, whether it's dancing, whether it's sword fighting, fencing, whether it's paintball, whether it's, I don't know, man, airsoft, whatever you really get into, you will begin to see yourself in it. And that's kind of the beauty of being human, is you get to see yourself in these things that are around us. And I could keep on yapping about all of this, but I hope this has been helpful. um, Find your voice, man. Like, and I'm speaking to myself. I'm speaking to my future self. I know, like down the line, like a year or 2, 3 years from now, I'm gonna watch this video, and this stuff is gonna impact me. This is kind of just like a time capsule, and I'm glad I get to share it with you. Um, Make it fun, dude. Like, you've got one life, one breath, that just repeats over and over until it doesn't, and you gotta make the most of that, man. Don't beat yourself up about it. Life has enough beating up that it does. You don't have to help it, you know. Just find your voice, and when you find it, speak it loudly. it will encourage other people. Happy practice.